The issues of real estate affect us all, from buying a home to renting a home, to all questions surrounding financing a home. And then, of course, there are the issues surrounding selling your home. Welcome, Holly Walters in Real Estate Radio. Real Estate Radio is a live 30-minute weekly program aired exclusively here on 1240 The Brew on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Holly will discuss your real estate issues and give you practical advice on purchasing or selling your property. Real Estate Radio will feature guests with expertise in a variety of areas concerning real estate. Join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for Real Estate Radio.
Good morning. Welcome to Real Estate Radio. I'm Holly Walters with Walters Real Estate, and I'm glad you're listening today. We're going to have an exciting show. We're talking about your credit score, everything you need to know about improving your credit score. I have special guest, Miss Keri McCrea, in the house. Welcome, Keri.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Thank you. Keri is the account executive with Rising Point Solutions out of Tulsa, and her general manager, Mr. David Harpster, will be joining us. Do we have David on the phone?
No, I didn't do it now.
Oh, yeah. We're calling David, so we have an exciting thing going on right now. We're talking a little bit about the misconceptions that people have on credit scores. We're talking about ways to improve your credit score. Hi, David. Oh.
Keep talking amongst yourself.
Oh, okay. This is getting technical. We're trying to call David Harpster with Rising Point Solutions. Good morning, David. Welcome to Real Estate Radio.
With me. I think I was up too late last night watching baseball.
Oh, well, good for you. Good for you. We're glad that you could join us. And can you tell us a little bit about your company, Rising Point Solutions?
Yes, Rising Point Solutions is a Texas-based company, and it's owned by two gentlemen that have a background in credit and mortgage industry, and they started in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and have now grown into several states, including Oklahoma. And they work with buyers, home buyers in particular, on restoring their credit, and also work diligently on educating consumers on their credit, because what we never want are repeat customers.
Okay. Tell us how your company works with individuals. What if I wanted to improve my credit and I found you? What would happen? How would we begin?
What we would do is get the latest available copy of your consumer credit report from all three credit bureaus. We would sit down and go over that report, identify the issues involved, and work with you on deleting and or amending the derogatory and inaccurate information on the credit report, and thereby helping your credit scores.
I see. So you do that for me as a client, and how long does that usually take?
It varies based on each individual, but we want our clients in and out of the program as quickly as possible. And many times it's 6 months or less.
Okay. How much does it cost?
Again, varies based on the amount of work we have to do, and whether it's a single individual or a couple. But prices on our service can begin at a $199 enrollment fee and $99 a month. And again, in and out within 6 months.
I see. Typically, how long do your clients work with you on the average?
When you say work with, you mean how long are they in the program?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Typically 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And that's because the process, because the federal government is involved, the Fair Credit Reporting Act in particular, nothing is efficient when you have the federal government involved. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you see as a common mistake on credit reports?
The most common mistake on credit reports can be something as innocuous as they've misspelled your first or last name a little bit, or a prior residence has transposed address number. I have seen other mistakes that are just enormous. Foreclosures on a credit report where no one ever had a foreclosure.
Oh, my goodness.
So it can run the entire gambit.
That's amazing that something like that devastating could happen.
I've been looking at credit reports since 1999. I've never seen one that's completely correct.
Wow. And once you get that cleaned up and you handle the paperwork to do that, the client doesn't have to do anything. You are handling everything, I'm assuming.
Well, I prefer to put it this way. What we have here is an approximate 6-month partnership. We're just going to do most of the work. There are a few things that we're going to require our client to do, and it's very important that they know what's expected of them, because we have to make sure they keep their credit card balances low. They don't get any collections or charge-offs or anything like that on their credit report, because then we end up starting all over again.
I see. Those are good rules to follow. You don't want to start something and then new problems come along.
Definitely.
Right, and that is why we draw a particular action plan for each of our clients.
How does somebody benefit by coming to your company versus going to someplace like consumer credit counseling or someplace like that?
Actually, consumer credit counseling and Rising Point Solutions are in the same area, but we do completely different things. Consumer credit counseling essentially will negotiate with those credit card companies, renegotiate the debt, a lot of times get the interest waived, and set up a payment plan for those clients to pay off their consumer debt, which does have a derogatory impact on your credit report. What we do is we merely work at removing derogatory and inaccurate information off credit reports while working with the client and also getting their credit scores higher.
I see. So just two separate things.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some common mistakes that people are making? Every day you see this, common mistakes that are ruining their credit.
The most common mistake I see on credit reports is that credit card balances are too high. The consumer will carry a balance on a $500 limit card that's got a $400 balance.
I see.
And they don't realize that is having an adverse impact on their credit score.
Keri, even if the person has good pay history on that, but their balance is high, is that still bad?
Yes, because they need to pay more than the minimum payment every month. They need to show it's basically, if you have a high balance, then it looks bad on their credit report. You need to pay down to 20% of the balance on your credit card.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to have a good pay history. You need to make your payment on time, but you can't carry over 20% of the amount that you can carry.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, why do they give us all that credit if they don't want us to use it? That's for the birds.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Some people want you to use it.
Yeah.
They want you to use every bit of it.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They're not looking out for your credit score. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
What do you think about the credit cards that give you your credit score every month? Is that reliable?
Reliable is a relative term. It depends on what information you're wanting to glean off those credit monitoring sites. The scores are going to vary from site to site, from industry to industry, because there are over 50 different scoring models available in the consumer realm. Your mortgage scores are going to be different than auto scores, And your credit card scores are going to be different than the mortgage and auto scores. What you want to look at is the overall trend when you're looking at those free monitoring sites. Is my score going up or is my score going down? And don't so much get caught on the actual score. In addition to that, you want to use the monitoring site so that way you can see if there's any derogatory or inaccurate information that's been added to your report that may be causing that move in score.
Do you recommend that people sign up for a credit reporting system other than just their free one that they get? I know that there's lots of things out there that you can sign up for to monitor your credit.
I have found that most monitoring sites are as good as any other, whether they're free or you pay for it. The one thing you do want is a monitoring site that gives you access to all three of your credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So if you're only getting access to one or two, you could be missing a sizable portion of your credit history there.
Okay, that's good to know. Is there really one that's free? A credit
There
reporting?
is.
Which one
I'm sorry,
is
Kara, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I didn't say. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I thought someone said something. The free ones are great. Like I said, as long as it has, the three scores that you have access to. And again, don't put too much weight on the score. I'm not real big on paying for credit monitoring unless I absolutely need it. We do have some sites that we have that we send our clients to during the process, because the good thing is while you're monitoring it and pulling your credit to look at your credit report, it's not impacting your score because it's a self-initiated pull for monitoring.
I see. That's a big thing for people because they think if I pull my credit, then it'll make my score go lower, so I don't want to do that. But they don't know what their score is.
Right.
So you're saying it won't hurt.
Nope, it will not. You can pull it 100 times a month, and it will not impact your score.
That's the soft pull.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That is a self-initiated pull for monitoring. They consider it a soft pull.
Do you think that, just generally, how many people are really watching their credit? Because a lot of people I talk to, they want to buy a house, but they have no idea what their credit score is, and they're afraid to find out. It's scary.
As far as how many people actually know their credit score, I wouldn't know the percentage on that. I do know that as little as 12 to 13% of the population has a score over 700, which, if you think about, let's say 150 million people that actually are old enough, and I'm using just a general number here, that are old enough to have a credit score, and only 12 to 13% of that have very good credit. The rest have fair to poor credit.
That's pretty surprising. That's a pretty low number. I would think we would be doing better than that.
As you get older, though, your credit gets better.
Well, I guess that's a good thing. That's one plus to getting older.
Exactly. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in my 50s, so at least I have good credit now. So, I have that going for me.
Tell us about, if you have, let's say you have 5 credit cards. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But a couple of store credit cards, a Visa, MasterCard, a gas card. That seems kind of average to me, what a lot of people have. Is that normal? Is that good?
The question, I guess, really should be framed as, do I have too much credit? And I have several cards, like I'm sure many people do. The question is how do you use those cards? You can have 20 credit cards, and if you use all of them correctly, your score is going to be spectacular. But if you only have 5 cards and you use them incorrectly, your score's going to suffer for that. I know, people do have, a Best Buy card and maybe a Dillard's card and then a Visa and a MasterCard and a Shell card, and that's fine. Just use them all correctly. Don't run up the balances. Pay everything on time. Should not be an issue.
Okay, Keri, if you're shopping and Christmas is coming up and they say, if you apply for our credit card, you can save 20% today. Should you do that?
Well, it depends on what, like Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you open too many credit cards at once, then it does impact your score.
Negatively?
Yes.
Okay.
Just depending if you open Target, Walmart, Chase, open all these at once, it doesn't look good on your credit. However, if you do apply for a Walmart credit card, let's say, they do check your credit first automatically. But during Christmas time, if you do it now, there will show a high balance, a balance credit limit, 600. Then I'd suggest just buying something small, paying it down, buy something small, pay it down, so that way you have a small balance every month on that Walmart credit card.
So don't take advantage of all they try to suck you in with that. If you apply, you get 25% off. And you think, well, that sounds pretty good. I could just use that savings today and not use the card anymore.
Yeah, I would advise keep using the card like David said, but do it the correct way.
Okay. So if you want to take advantage of a discount, just do one, maybe. How many should you open in a year? Should you open one a year or get a new card every year or no?
I would suggest it depends on how many cards you have and using it, like David said, the correct way, the right way. Like he said, a lot of people don't understand how to use their credit cards, the right way.
A good rule of thumb there is you don't open a credit card because you want to. You should open a credit card because you need to.
I see. So just pay for the item, whatever if you have the money, just pay for it. If you really need to finance it out, go ahead and, like if you're buying a refrigerator or something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Or, if the store has a layaway program, you can use that too. It's interest-free.
Okay. Well, we were talking a little bit earlier before the show about Dave Ramsey and all of the information that he has and how popular he is, and he's pretty much a cash-only guy, and that's what he promotes for everybody, to just cash. And what do you think about that?
Well, next to your Social Security number, your credit score is becoming your most important number in your life. Your ability to get a job can revolve around your credit, get a house, get a car. And if you have $100 million in cash in the bank, if you have a nice fat bank account, you don't have to worry about putting the kids through college and financing the Cadillac Escalade or whatever the case may be. However, the harsh realities of life are that most of us are going to have to finance things in our life. And I believe Dave Ramsey has a lot of really wonderful things he's teaching. A lot of it is just fiscal responsibility, which is extremely important, especially nowadays, in the age of unbridled consumerism. But at the same time, we have to realize that some things in our life are going to have to be financed. And if we quit using credit altogether, when you do need the financing, you're going to find you don't have a score. So we need to maintain those scores. And you can do it on a very small basis. You don't have to go deeply into debt to maintain a credit score.
Okay, that's good advice, because I think people think that they have to really go full-blown, get deep into credit before they'll have a good credit score.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but you're saying no. Just use credit the right way.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have any success stories you can share with us?
Success stories, as in people who've gone through our program and exited it, or just in general?
Just in general, just raising points and just learning about how to use credit. I like stories.
Okay. I can give you a personal success story, actually. In the middle 90s, got divorced and had horrible credit, and decided to marry my current wife. Why she agreed, I don't know, but she did. And realized that, hey, I have to fix this. And went through a process that took about a year, and changed my attitude on how I view credit and how I view paying bills. And that was parlayed into, a beautiful home, automobiles, and a credit score that does allow me to get 0% financing. And the key here is that if I can do it, I believe anybody can. It's just a matter of, do you want to do it quicker? Do you want the help of a professional? Or do you want to, wade through that minefield on your own?
That's a great story. I like that. Do you feel that
Thank you.
there's a element of shame that people have when they have bad finances?
There is people that we talk to every day. Some of them are ashamed of their credit score, and I remember the commercials that say bad things happen to good people, and that's very true.
Right.
The question is are we going to pick ourselves back up and try to fix it?
Well, that's
And
good.
that's what we help people do.
Right. On an average, what would you say people point-wise increase their score? Just the average client that you have.
Unfortunately, there's no way to really tell you that because it varies so widely. And there are so many variables involved that we can do everything we need to do and a score not go up because of something the client might have done that they didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough to peg a score number on there. But what we have found is when our clients invest themselves in our process and do the things that we require them to do on that action plan, and if we just have average results, they end up being very happy when they leave the program.
I see. Can you give us a couple of the action plan steps?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, one of the documents that we have our clients sign is called the Best Results Agreement. And it's 7 things that they need to do in order to help maximize the results. And part of it is not running up balances on credit cards, making their payments on time every month, not getting any new collections. So there's some things that, the client can do that makes this process much more successful.
Do you have a website?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Keri, what's that website?
It's www.risingpointsolutions.com.
And Keri is in Tulsa.
Yes.
So where are you located?
I'm located out of my office off of 41st and Garnett.
41st and Garnett.
Yes.
And people can call you at what number?
918-346-3542.
Say it again.
918-346-3542.
And David, if we have people that are closer to the Oklahoma City area that are listening, what's your number?
My phone number, my direct line is 405-492-8179.
We're getting ready to close our show here in just a few minutes, but what are some tips that you can give people, just kind of review so that they have an idea about, today, what can I do to turn this around? And I'm sure there was something that happened to you, maybe just getting married and wanting that to work out. But what is something that you can, a piece of advice that says, hey, today's the day?
Okay. I think it was Mark Twain who said, "If you find yourself in a hole, quit digging." I think that is the number one piece of advice to give someone. If you're in that debt hole and you realize you can't get out, quit digging.
That's a good one.
Stop doing what you're doing, and then take stock of where you're at, where you need to be, and then draw out that action plan on how to get there.
Okay.
Start paying everything on time, and then reducing the amounts you owe, which would mean stop using credit cards and things like that, because you'll continue to dig.
Right. Stop spending
Mm-hmm.
on the credit cards.
Between paying on time and lowering your amount of debt, that right there is 65% of your credit score.
Yes.
It seems like when people get serious about something, they find a way to make it happen. They find a way to have a garage sale or sell that extra vehicle they're not using or something. They start scrambling. I've had people that got serious about purchasing a home. They were tired of renting, and they had to scramble a little bit to get the down payment. And it's really inspiring for me to see people hustle and get things sold to come up with money because they want to make their dreams come true. So it's definitely doable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think if you are in a situation and you know, this is something that's kind of hard to understand. I mean, you're bombarded with credit cards and it gets complicated. So if you go with a company like you have, you educate the person, and it's going to be something that they just don't use for 6 months. It's a lifetime.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'd also like to mention our student loan program that we have, right, David?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just to add that in there, because I know a lot of people have student loan debt. David specializes in student loan, the program, right, David?
Yes, I do. Our student loan division is headed up by Amanda Frost Jackson, and she's in our corporate office. And I am one of the reps that can begin the process of helping folks consolidate and possibly rehabilitate delinquent student loans.
Okay. You can't get rid of student loans. You have to pay them. Is that right?
Yeah, they say there are two things that are a given in life, and that's death and taxes. Well, now it's also student loans. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, David and Keri, for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope our listeners have learned something about credit and credit repair. If you have any questions, Keri, what's your phone number?
It's 918-346-3542, and again, 918-346-3542.
Thanks for listening today. We'll be back on the radio next Thursday with Real Estate Radio. David, thank you so much. We appreciate all your great information. I'm Holly Walters with Walter Real Estate. If you need a realtor, I'd like to be the one. 918-758-6687. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly, for inviting us on
You're welcome.
your show. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kendall Fulbright with Fulbright Home Inspections. It's always a good idea to make sure you clean your gutters, change all your air filters, change all the batteries in your smoke alarms, and pull away any excessive debris away from your foundation. It's also a great time to check your roof for any wind, ice, or impact damage that may occur during the wintry months. You can contact us anytime at 918-707-0689. Once again, that's 918-707-0689. Or you can check us out on the web at www.fulbrighthomeinspections.com.
E-statements are here at First National Bank and Trust. Go green with e-statements. They're safe, they're easy, and they're available online anytime. Less paper clutter. Sign up for e-statements today at First National Bank and Trust and go green. And save a tree while you're at it. First National Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.